Halito everybody, this is CT at the NYC Indian, and tonight we're going to be reviewing Married at First Sight, a nice day for a wicked wedding. This is going to be coming to you from an urban Native American perspective, a mixed perspective, and a secular perspective. So let's talk about it. Off with Jasmina and Mike. It's the day of their wedding. We're expecting 2 weddings today. So, she wakes up, she gets ready, she starts getting really, really nervous to the point where she's about to get sick. And they find, Mike, he's getting all pumped up. He gets to the altar and he's waiting and waiting. And then she shows up in all her, royalty, like she's, so amazing, right? And he is just like gushing over her because she looks like, she looks like a princess or something. She's absolutely beautiful. And I was waiting to see what her reaction was going to be, especially the way she was, acting like a few minutes ago, like damn near dry heaving, that they're going to give her like some ugly guy or something. And next thing you know, she's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay. And it seemed like she was like trying to convince herself she wasn't feeling it. You can just tell, you know what I mean? She wasn't feeling it. And I think she's the type of girl who really kind of knows what she wants. And I I do not think I don't think he's her type at all. But I really think she was just trying to, go in for the win and try and, see if she can kind of convince herself, okay, work with the chemistry, work with the experiment. But my gut is not telling me anything good on this one. Yeah. So now we meet back up with Mark and Lindsey, and she is tipsy. Girlfriend is definitely feeling her cocktails. So they start talking about their dating history and the cats and stuff like that. Now, she says in the confessional that she finds him attractive because what she likes about him is that he has confidence, and confidence is something that she likes in guys. So I'm a little confused because on the after party, she said that he wasn't her type at all because he reminded her of a Guido, and she didn't want to date a Guido. He's got the tan, the thick eyebrows, very sculpted eyebrows, and gym rat kind of thing. So, is she physically attracted to him or not? Now, she was tipsy in that confessional when she was saying that at the wedding, and when they filmed the after party, maybe that was like so many months later, and maybe she had lost a track. Did something happen later on? So I'm keeping an eye on that because I'm a little confused. Like, are you into her or not? But are you into him or not? But he seems to be physically into her and into the idea of her, but he definitely seems like he realizes, he's starting to realize that he's got his hands full. My God. Mike and Jasmina, they finished their ceremony. The family's cheering them on. They're taking pictures, chit-chatting, getting to know one another. So during their little chat, they start talking about their bedtime routines. Now, I mean, he's just gushing because, like, he thinks she's just amazing and beautiful. And they start talking about their bedtime routines. And she mentions that she likes to watch K-dramas. Now, apparently he is not hip to K-dramas. I don't know what kind of rock Mike's been sleeping under. But anyway, I was thinking, just in case this doesn't work out, girl, KoreanCupid.com, you could pull a Korean babe without even getting out of bed looking like that. I mean, she's amazing. Come on. And then they start talking about going to Jamaica. Well, she's talking about traveling. And she starts talking about going to Jamaica on her 30th birthday. And he said, and she asked him, are you going to be coming with me? And he was like, well, if all goes well, you just married this woman 5 minutes ago. You can't even commit to a trip. Like, are you not thinking positive? He's already finding something, I think. I mean, even though he clearly finds her physically attractive, I think he's starting to find things, he's too afraid. Like, you're supposed to go, you're supposed to dive, what is it? Nose dive in, or whatever they say. Like, you're supposed to go into it, right? Like, not being, tiptoeing and stuff like that. And then she says later on that, she, when she saw him, like, she felt something, but it wasn't like huge yet. So I'm telling you guys, and I call that, she is not into him. I'm telling you, physically, she's not into him. Now, we'll see if she will grow attracted to him because, like I said, sometimes women can grow an attraction, but it's not there initially. And she seems just to be like a woman who really kind of knows what she wants. And I feel like if she's not like feeling him like that, I don't think it's going to grow. Could be wrong. We'll see. But as of right now, I don't think it's going to grow. I don't think it's going to grow. And I think he's going to spend time finding things wrong with her as well, like trying to pick her apart. This was not a good match. I feel it in my bones. Katrina it's time for her to get married to Elijah. So she's looking for her dress. She finds an amazing, magnificent dress. She looks great, right? And, he gets dressed as well, and he's there with his family. And, all he keeps doing is talking about these Isaac days. And I'm like, it's clearly it's not that far in the distant past if it's something you're constantly reminding us of. I mean, are we going to get somebody popping up on the show like, another Mercedes situation? I mean, what's going to happen with this guy? I mean, this is just like, it breaks my heart because I see this girl and she's sitting here and she's saying how she's so ready to leave this single identity behind and become a wife and, have a family and stuff like that. And this guy's not even serious. His own family is like, you sure? I mean, because you can't do this and you're not going to be able to do that. And you're going to have to really think about another person. Like the way they're so doubtful towards him. Listen, they've already clocked his stuff. Okay. They know what he's about. They've seen him, right? They've seen him in action probably for years. So they're just, they're probably thinking, all right, well, we're here, we're on camera, we gotta show our support, but when your own family is like that, I mean, on your wedding day, that's not a good sign. Married at first sight, people, I don't know what the hell you all were thinking of when you casted this guy. Miss Alyssa, she is totally a type A, okay? Can you see it, all right? She gets to the dress shop, but not before purchasing 10 other dresses. I mean, 10 dresses? I mean, who does that? Like, that's some does Beyonce get 10 dresses before she gets married? I mean, I don't know. This is like, wow, okay. She is showing more and more that she is very much a perfectionist, and I do not know that when she sees this man at the altar, he's going to be what she thought she was going to get. And so she wants her country themed wedding. She's really into Western stuff, and she's trying on all these dresses and stuff. And then they pan over to, what's his name? Chris, right? Yeah, Chris. So they pan over to Chris, and Chris is with his buddies, and the way he's talking is very like, it's almost like analytical. I feel like he's a statistician or something like that. Like he studies numbers and figures and just like, the odds are if I do this and I do that. And coming into it with such a statistical and analytical kind of mindset, I feel like, how does that leave room for love? I mean, he doesn't seem excited to run his hands through someone's hair or go on a picnic or something like that. He seems like he's more just about like the numbers and what are the odds and stuff like that. It just seems a little too robotic to me. He doesn't seem to be very warmed up to the process. It just could be his personality, but I'm just not sure. It's too early for me to say totally with him. I have to see how he interacts with her, what their chemistry is like. But again, I feel like you got another woman who is going to be very unsatisfied with who she sees at the altar. I mean, I think somebody like her probably is single because she's very picky. And, she's, I mean, obviously takes care of herself. I mean, girls like that a lot of times are more selective, right? And why shouldn't they be? But I think maybe for him, it's just he always wants this marriage thing, but he's finding people that are not ready. So I think they're going to run into the same thing that they run into in their dating world, where it's like guy likes girl, girl's not that into the guy, kind of thing. I don't know. I gotta see a little bit more with this couple, but if he doesn't get out of this, charts and figures and graphs and numbers and stuff like that, I don't see how this is going to work. Love isn't just numbers and graphs and figures. I mean, I get that he doesn't believe in the one. And the reason that I believe that is because I don't come from a religious background myself. I don't believe that there's one person on the earth that was made for you. I don't have that kind of belief. I believe that you have chemistry with a person, and the chemistry starts with some kind of physical something, and then it can grow to be more, but like some kind of initial connection. Most of the time, some people's it can grow, but most of the time there's some kind of initial connection, and then you enjoy each other's company. You can see each other with each other in the future, building and growing. And then when it comes down to marriage, I mean, let's be honest. The thing about marriage, really, what is it? Because you can love and grow and be in relationships, but not be married to people. When it comes down to getting married, it's like to love a person and to accept the worst things about a person. If you hate someone who leaves their underwear behind the door, someone who's not ambitious, all the things you don't like, these things that you don't like, if you can live with those and still love that person, I mean, that's a marriage, right? Not necessarily, I mean, and you could find that person in Morocco, you could find that person down the street, I don't believe in that one person, like he said. Sometimes you don't get it right to the second, maybe the third, so I understand where he's coming from in terms of he doesn't have a supernatural sort of concept of what love is. His idea of love is to him more grounded, but there still has to be that chemistry and stuff like that in there. It can't just be all numbers and figures and stuff like that. And part of the reason that I wanted to even talk about Married at First Sight from my secular perspective is because I can come to it from someone who, grew up with a religious background, but was never a religious person. I just didn't believe in any of the stuff that my family believed in. So when I talk about marriage, I talk about marriage more from the perspective of personal experience and just, what two people agree on and can be happy with and can build on and have communication with, not necessarily what a society or a group of people say that a person's role is within a relationship. That's totally up to those two people. So I get where he's trying to come from, but I think it's a little too far into the analytics to the point where it's hard to grow something organic. I think he seems to be too much in his head about it. So I have to see once they interact with one another if there is that chemistry that can turn into love. But it's not all charts and figures, my man. It's just not. That's just not how love works. We have Katina and Elijah on. So he's crying and he has to be consoled. Oh my goodness, he's getting married. So I guess it's hitting him now and he's probably thinking, oh God, what did I get myself into? So he's so excited. The next scene, he goes from sadness to complete elation. And then he hugs the lady from the production team and she's like, yeah, okay, Elijah, yeah, you got this. Okay, don't worry. So he gets to the altar. He sees Katina, a vision of loveliness basically floating on a cloud down the aisle into his arms. He gives his vows, which were absolute garbage, about her cooking. The look on her face was like, yeah, okay, if you think that's going to happen. So they wrap up the ceremony. They go over to the side to start, chit-chatting and get to know one another. So he starts saying I'm a man who expresses myself. I love to express myself. How do you feel about that? Do you like a man that expresses himself? And, and she's like, oh, even at the altar, like when he was complimenting her and he was complimenting her more than once. And then he asked her, what do you think about me? What do you think? Like, oh my God. I was like, I thought you guys said you did psych evaluations. You guys said that you did background checks on these people. Like, that's so immature. He's like a frat boy. Like, what do you think about me at the altar? Are you serious? Oh my God. So he's over there just talking endlessly while, she couldn't get a word in edgewise even if she tried. And then it's starting to click to her like, oh my God, this is a lot. This is a lot. And, what I didn't like also too was in the ceremony, or not in the ceremony, but after the ceremony when they're standing there talking, and he says that, you're not a girlfriend anymore, you know. So if you have something to say, you can say it to me because you're not a girlfriend, you're a wife, you're a wife. And the way that he said that, just the way that he said it, it was like you're a wife, you know, like he had like this kind of, I don't know, the way he said it was like somebody that, listen, I'm almost a middle-aged woman, okay? I've lived on the planet a few years. I've seen a few things, and just from life's experience, I can tell that this guy has controlling tendencies. I'm telling you, this is not going to be good. I want to be so wrong about this, but this is not going to end well. I'm telling you. And so as he's going on and on and on, the last thing that she had to say was she, you know, basically his strong ass energy. I mean, that's not what you want to have to hear from from your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a lot. Now, all up until this point, we've been looking at Lindsey is the one that's a lot. I think on the male side, he's a lot. And but this is a lot, not in a different way than Lindsey. You know, I don't think Lindsey's going to be out there, you know, dating other people while she's married. This guy, I don't feel confident that his, you know, his telephone book, his contacts are completely deleted. I don't believe that. I don't believe it for a minute. So I don't know. Poor Katina. This is terrible. So the last couple is Steve and Noi. So Steve is getting ready with his brothers. Noi's getting ready with her wedding party, including her mom. We get to see for the first time. Her parents are they're very supportive, and I like that her mom says, you know, like as she's worried about what he's going to look like at the altar or something, or you know, she says, you know, no one's perfect, and I really like how she said that. You know, it's true. We can find there's so many flaws. I mean, there's a million things that we can find wrong with one another. But it seems like Noi is really serious. It seems like her heart is really into it, and like I think she's really gonna like him, and I think he's gonna like her too. I'm so afraid about this job situation, but hey, fingers crossed. Maybe he got a job within the past couple of weeks. We don't know. We'll have to see next week. But they give us a little cliffhanger. Seriously, we do not need all these episodes for these weddings. Are you kidding? Come on, you could easily get all the weddings done in one episode. I think it's too much. What do you guys think? So we see the previews for next week, and oh boy, Alyssa does not look like a happy camper. No, she does not. And she's talking about raggedy teeth, and then they they are so petty. Okay, production zooms in on his teeth like from a bottom, you know, from a bottom angle, like completely unflattering. Like I was like, oh my god, this is, you know, this is gonna be a mess. And Mike, well, Mike looks like he might have found a flaw in his little porcelain doll there. So next week is going to be that's really when it's going to kick off. Once we get all these freaking weddings out of the way. I mean, the only thing about the weddings, like I said, I like to see is that initial reaction, that eye contact, that, you know, if there's that initial spark or whatever. But other than that, I just want to get down to what they're going to be like once they go on their honeymoon, and how they interact with other couples, and how, you know, how they stay together and stuff like that. That's more the interesting, that's the meat in the sandwich for me. So we will reconvene next week, and hey, everybody stay safe, take care of yourself, and chipisalacho.